Welcome to Grandpa's Handyman DIY. Well, what we're going to do is hopefully show you the best way to clean up a shed, get some insulation in, get some shelves in, and hopefully get some electric in too. Okay, YouTubers, here's the 14 by 20 shed. It's got an upper deck and concrete foundation. Let's get started. We're going to move this stuff, and then we're going to put in some insulation and then shelves, and then we'll be part way there. We still don't have any electric here, so that's going to be in another episode. Okay, I think what we've got here now is enough room, since everything has been moved over. Enough room here on this end to build shelves. Okay, I went out to my favorite Home Depot and bought a few sheets of the 1-inch rigid insulation, and you can see here by the name, if you want to look for it yourself, it's pretty good stuff. It's got the aluminum foil on both sides, and so obviously you want to put that side out without the advertisement, but this way you don't have to worry about which side goes out and which side goes in. You can put it either way you want based on whether or not you want to see the advertisement. But anyway, this is 1 inch in thickness, and it's about $20. The one $20 a sheet, and the one with the aluminum on just one side is like $16 or $17. So I thought the best thing to do is just go with the foil on both sides and get the best insulation we can out of this. This is 1 inch thick, and it's an R6 rating, so that's not bad. So we're gonna start laying this in and see how it goes. Well, after giving it a lot of thought, I decided to put the sheets of insulation out here on the outside of these 2x4s rather than cutting it and placing it inside against this house wrap. I had some leftover rigid insulation from another little project, and so it happened to be almost an inch thick, and the problem was that it only had the foil on one side. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put 2 pieces in. The one I have in there already is it has the foil facing out towards the wall and towards the outside, and this piece I'll take this one and sandwich it in there, and it's going to have the foil facing inside of the shed. So what it'll do is it'll have radiant properties going out, and radiant properties holding the cool or heat in, same as the wall rigid insulation will do, because it's foil on both sides. So anyway, I'll get this in here. Just a little note that before I cover these studs up with that insulation, I took a pen and marked up here so it shows above where the insulation 4x8 sheet will be, and so I'll know where those studs are. Just so we have some type of reference here before we get this all insulated, this particular wall here is the south wall, and it's showing about 78, and it's 69 or 70 degrees outside, so you can see it's beginning to radiate a little bit of heat inside here. The other thermometer that I have here is a auto air conditioner thermometer, and it's showing over 80. I don't know which one of these is the most accurate, but it does let you know that just inside of here, without any air conditioning, this puppy is already up 10 degrees above what it is outside. Okay, well, I've got this sheathing, rigid insulation in on this one wall. I haven't taped it and I haven't tacked it up to the studs yet, but it seemed to be fitting pretty good. And what I wanted to do was, now that just this one wall has been insulated, wanted to come back and check that temperature for you. Outside it has raised in temperature about 6 degrees, and right now we've got about 70 on that guy, and I think it was close to 80 while ago. So raising 5 degrees outside and dropping 10 degrees inside just by having this one south wall insulated made a big difference. And I don't know what this little guy is showing now. Let's see. It was up above 80, so now it's dropped down to 75 or something, 70, something like that. So anyway, it's made a big difference. I'm impressed. Okay, I've put another sheet on this end, and I've taken the what's left over of the middle part I put in this wall, put that over there on that end, and I've decided that I'm going to go, instead of with 30 inches deep on the shelves, I'm going to do it regular 24-inch. After thinking about the cost of splitting up a 4x8, I would have to buy a couple extra 4x8s, and I decided just to go with the 24-inch deep because of that. So anyway, I've taped some of this, and that foil tape works pretty good, and covers up those I don't know what those kind of nails are called. They look like roofing nails, but anyway, it covers those up pretty well. And here in the corner, you can see what you want to do is you want to push it back really good before you pull the paper off the back of that foil tape, and that way you can get it tucked in. Up at the top, I wasn't doing that, and you can see where I was trying to push it in, it was grabbing. But if you actually tuck it in and then pull the paper back, it works much better. So anyway, okay, now I've decided to go ahead and put my cross members on and attach this first shelf to the wall. And what I'm going to do is I've placed the cross members in a way that they won't interfere with attaching the back of the shelf to these wall studs. So anyway, this is 13 feet 2 3/4 inches across here, and so I've started off with a 8-foot piece, and I'll just fit it in and work my way across as I go. So I just kind of wanted to let you know about where I'm at. Okay, the first piece, the first shelf is attached. I've still left 2 of those vertical braces down on the bottom. Those are just temporary right now. I haven't decided whether I'll leave those or not. I really don't think they're necessary. I got 3.5-inch screws into the studs on this back piece, as you can see. So it's not going anywhere unless the wall falls down. So anyway, I'm gonna now go over and finish that end off, and I've also decided that I won't have any legs underneath here. I'm gonna go I believe I'm gonna go and hang this from the rafters, since I've got the convenience of a rafter right there I can attach to, and then it'll leave this whole open area underneath the bottom shelf. So anyway, that's it so far. Okay, I got my first shelf in, and it's screwed into the studs with 3.5-inch screws, and this is again, this is 13 feet 2 inches across here, so it's tied together right here at 8 feet, and then continues on with another piece. But anyway, it seems to have worked pretty well. It's pretty sturdy, and now all I gotta do is put some blocks in and start building the next 2 levels. Okay, now got to working on the second shelf. There's the first one in place, and so now it's just a matter of duplicating what I've got down there and putting it up here. So what I did was the part that's going back as a ledger, I put the middle braces on it, and then I'm starting to attach it to the studs, just as I did the one below. So what I did for the spacing makes it pretty easy, is I put a 2x4 down on the ledger board, and then I put a one of the 21-inch center boards vertical above it, and that gives me my 20.5 inch separation there for the. Okay, there's moving right along. We got that first shelf, got the second shelf tied in, and we got part of the third shelf tied in. So that's just about it for today. Well, all of the shelf pieces are in place. So all level, tacked in real good with 3.5-inch screws into the studs that are on 16-inch centers. So I believe that will hold. So also I just wanted to kind of review the tools that are used in this, for those of you that might want to know. A couple of levels, some clamps, and drill and squares and that kind of thing. So gotta have that stuff to pull everything into level and keep it going straight. So anyway, next is the fronts of these and some other bracing before I put the vertical bracing in. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, where I'm finishing off the front of the shelf, just want to show you that this is the first, this piece here is the first 2x4x8, and where I'm tying it together here from the other side, I put in a what you call a daughter board in that section to strengthen it, and that'll be able to hold any amount of weight that I'll ever put on this. So that should take care of that. And right there is the joint, and finished leveling it off here and putting my pipe that I decided to put in here in the bottom rather than 2x4s. It'll use less space, and I think it's going to be actually stronger because I'll put a pipe all the way up between each shelf on those sections there. Okay, after I got this last front piece on here and level, I got my pipe brace underneath. I just wanted to show you the how the daughter board is clamped and everything, and before I go ahead and tie it in, it fits pretty good. So anyway, I think it's gonna work really well and be really strong. I haven't tied in the pipes to the bottom of the shelf yet, but I think what I'll do is just get another little block and put under there that covers the round flange well enough so I can put some screws in there, and then I'll put some adhesive down to the concrete. Okay, I'm getting ready to put down the first deck on the bottom shelf, and before I do, I'm just going to put a little bit of this adhesive. This stuff will hold anything. That's that 375 heavy duty adhesive. It sticks to anything, and it holds forever. And that's basically what I put this shed together with. It's got you can see it squeezed out on the floor on the upper deck, but anyway, it works really well. So I figured I'd just add a little bit to the 2x4s before I sandwich it in, and it'll keep it from ever moving, that's for sure. I wouldn't want to have to tear it apart. Well, just like magic, there it is. One shelf in, and five of those to go, plus the end caps. Okay, I got the pipe bracing in on these 3 shelves. Ready. I'm putting the facing on the 3rd shelf now. Again, I'm just working on this one end so I can kind of work my way down, but it's coming along, looking good, and I think the pipe supports are going to be working okay. They're definitely strong enough to hold anything that I could ever get inside this shed, that's for sure. So hopefully it continues to go this well. I thought I would point out here, if you decide to use these 3/4 inch pipes to support your shelf, what I did was I just put in 2 screws to hold it at the bottom, and that's down into the 2x4, and also up here, I don't know if you can see that, where does it go here? There's 2 screws here, one on the front facing 2x4 and one on the cross brace. So it's it's good enough to hold it in place, and that's really all you need is a couple of screws into the 2x4, and it's not going anywhere. Well, all the pipe supports are in, and the only thing that's left is putting the deck on the top shelf and button that down, and that should do it. So I think the shelves are actually strong enough to hold whatever I'm going to put up there without the pipe. But anyway, better safe than sorry. So anyway, on to the next deck. Well, I got all the 3 decks on, so I think we're done. So I'll put one of my tubs together and see what it looks like in there and see how it fits. But I think since each little section here is about 4 feet, 4.5 feet, about 4.5 feet wide, and 2.5 or 2 feet deep, I think that'll work pretty good. So we'll see how it looks in there. Well, what do you know, they fit. Of course, we had no doubt that they were going to fit, did we? So these are the Home Depot specials, 55-gallon totes. So I think I'll be able to stuff a little bit of my goodies in there and keep them dust free. So anyway, I got room to put more on top and more on the bottom. Plenty of room so far. So I think that okay. Just as a FYI, the screws I used are these exterior screws I got there at Home Depot, and the foil tape as well. I pre-drilled everything with the 9/64 just prior to using the screws. You know, you avoid cracking and splintering and all of that mess when you do that. So anyway, here's the screws put into the studs, the ones in the cross members on each shelf, the ones for sandwiching the daughter board in, and these are the ones I used on the deck. And of course there's the foil tape. The decking I used is 5/8 plywood, and of course 2x4s, and the 375 Loctite adhesive.